Marc Jackson, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Sixers pre- and post-game live joins us now. Do you like the Elton Brand hire, Mark?
I do like it because I really believe that this team is on a great roll, that in an organization, the front office, and with a player development decision, I thought it'd be a great, a smart move to raise someone within, someone that's been part of what's going on, know the goal, instead of bringing a different voice that somebody might kind of put some wrinkles in what they have established already.
Yeah, a lot of the people I think that were kind of negative towards this were saying, look, they said they wanted a high-profile GM, and then this is what they ended up with. It makes the perception feel like they were turned down, they couldn't get a high-profile guy, and they just went the safe route. Does it look to you that way, that they couldn't get the guy they really wanted and just decided to go this route?
Respectfully, that could be the case. You shoot for the stars, you don't get it, at least you at least try. So they try to get some high-level executives. They didn't get him. So they stayed within. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not that you failed. It's just that you lost out on other people. So you came back, you came and promoted within. And respectfully, I think the importance of that is Brett Brown had a brief term being the team's GM. They wanted to hire another GM to kind of take that burden off of Coach Brown. So I still think this is another way to still have Coach Brett Brown, who did a fabulous job of having an influence on what's going on.
Yeah.
They bring another high executive GM in here, and he comes in and say, well, you know what? I know you're used to doing like this, but I think we should do something else.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a recipe for disaster.
I kind of rationale this is that maybe they felt they wanted a high-profile guy to kind of push it to the next thing, and then started to talk to some of these guys and realize their vision was not the Sixers' vision, and they said, you know what, maybe we don't need one of these guys. If they don't like what we're doing, we feel more comfortable just keep continuing the path that we're on.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You could bring somebody in. You could bring in a top-level executive, somebody that's been around. You can do all that. But then if they come to disrupt the way the tide has been flowing, what does that do for your organization? What does that do for your player development? What does it do for their personal relationship with players? It can change it. It can change it good or bad. But the safe route is this team is in a steady climb. They have a good thing going. So why not promote within for somebody who's been there, who's been around, who knows the end game and the game plan on a daily basis? Then what you just said, you hit the nail on the coffin. You hit the nail on the head.
Marc Jackson, NBC Sports Philadelphia, Sixers pre- and post-game. How important is the GM today? I mean, is it a different position than it was when you were playing and maybe you were looking around for teams? How important is that GM's pitch to get guys to come to your team?
Respectfully, you have to, as a GM, try to lure players in. But now the players have such authority, have such plans themselves that they know where they want to go. They try to get together in all season. A lot of guys train together. We all train together in the summer. But now it's not just the point where let's go work out, let's go get something to eat together. Now it's like, let's go work out, let's get something to eat together. As a matter of fact, how you like playing there? Man, we have a nice workout together. Maybe good to play together. So then they start facilitating stuff themselves to go places, like the Jimmy Butler incident. He requested a trade. His three dream teams were the Knicks, the Nets, and the Clippers. So he pretty much said where he wants to go, so he's dictating it. So now all the GM got to do is sign him wherever he gets traded. So to answer your question, the GM role is still important for delegate operation, but as far as telling them, pitching to players that come to our teams, I don't think it's that important as it used to be.
Well, the way I look at it, Mark, is he's not getting the top-level guy to come because he's Elton Brand, but he's making the moves that fill out the roster, that add the depth, and those are the moves that put you over the top.
Of course, because the role players are the most important. I mean, we know you need superstars, but when it comes to these role players, when it comes to that eighth man, we need a shooter off the bench. Where can we find a shooter? We need a rebounder. Who can we find to get that help in a free market?
Yeah.
So Yes, I agree with you 100% on that. That is true. But on another note is, Elton is only a few years removed from playing himself, of being in a uniform. So I think his relationship with players, his ability to be able to relate to players, helps the 76ers in a big way.
Mark, how much do you know Elton? What do you know about him? And what you know about him, what intrigues you about his ability to succeed in this role?
Elton and I go a long way back. Since his first couple of years in the league when he's put up big numbers in the Clippers and also in Chicago. Elton's a good dude. And without that being said, he's a very intelligent individual. He knows the game. He knows the behind the scenes, but he is a worker. He's always been a worker. He wasn't given natural talent. He put himself in that situation to succeed by developing his talents. Same thing. He's an avid reader. He's a person who learns, who likes to seek knowledge every day. So this is a perfect fit, in my opinion, because I think Elton is in prime position to do big things with a rising team.
One of the things people looked at and said, this is such a fast rise that he didn't really have a lot of experience in a front office. I mean, he played, and then he kind of went to the front office, and then he was doing the G League thing, but he was never really an assistant. Is it true? Would you have liked to have seen him maybe have a little bit more experience, or do you think in today's sporting world, I kind of explained that in sports today, everyone's looking for the new thing outside the box. People don't want the retread. They want the guy that's new with new ideas and new visions. So in the sports world, the guy without experience is almost the guy that the teams are looking for. So would you have rather seen Elton get more training, or do you not have a problem with the timeline?
I don't have a problem with the timeline on. What you just said is everyone, a lot of times teams recycle. They recycle general managers. They recycle coaches. The 76ers without the box. Why are we going to bring someone else in here when we have a good candidate here who may be new, but he also has a vision and a brain of his own, and a bright one, I do say so myself.
Yeah.
So he can come in with his own opinion, and he hasn't been brainwashed with what others might say or what others might think. He has his own vision. He's not someone who's been 3-4 teams. This will be his first team. His ideas are important. It can help us. This is a new age. It's 2018. This is not 2008 or 2078. So let's give this man a chance and see where he can help us grow and go as a team. Great choice.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know that I had a choice. Like, if you were to say to me, who would you have wanted? I don't know that I had an answer. I don't think there was a guy that jumped off the page at me. With that being said, I'm very willing to go outside the box and give a guy who seems like he could be boom or bust an opportunity here. But I just think there's enough people around him that they're not – I mean, the guy's not going to fall on his face, He's not going to be awful. I don't know that he's going to be the guy that changes the game or whatever, but I don't think he's a disaster. But was there a guy out there that you had your eye on?
I truly believe that when they didn't hire Cleveland's old general manager –
yeah, David Griffin.
When they didn't hire David Griffin, I thought now they was just reaching. They was just trying to get any names. Respectfully, a lot of rumors have said David Griffin, they hired him, try to get the inside track to LeBron. That might have had something to do with it. But also David Griffin had a very good track record in Cleveland. He did some great things. So that was the one that I thought was out there that they had a chance of getting. When they didn't get him, I was just curious myself, so which way are they going to go now? So they went, like you said, they went young, they went new, they went fresh. So they got this new face, new ideas in, and Brett Brown hasn't been a conventional coach himself. So think about that.
Well, they're in a tough spot trying to hire a guy from outside the organization when the coach is the guy hiring you for the most part, where the new guy comes in and a lot of times wants to bring his own coach in.
Exactly. We established that's a new mind. That's somebody with new theories, new thoughts. Brett Brown does not want that. These players do not want that. Now, let me preface it as saying that the players don't really have a say-so. But you do have some pretty booming stars in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. and hopefully Markelle Fultz and Dario Saric. With that being said, these players are rising. I don't know if you really want to ruffle the feathers by bringing someone in who these players haven't been around. I just think about that. So, but yes, to go back to what you said, this is a situation where Brett Brown controls the narrative. Let me help put my influence and hire somebody in that I'm comfortable with, that I know, that I eat daily with, that I have meetings with, that I know his vision. He expresses himself. Remember, he was the one that saved the 76ers a ton of money on Bellinelli and Ilyasova when they wanted to trade for them during the season. He said, no. Don't trade for them. Don't trade for them. We can get them other ways. So they say the 76ers on money on that note.
Yeah.
So this guy has some things. He kind of put his foot in the door and not just was there, not just the presence. He actually earned his keep on meetings and different things like that.
Marc Jackson, basketball is almost here. Sixers will report. They've got the game, not the game, the scrimmage up there at the Palestra on Tuesday night. And, of course, we'll be talking to Mark throughout the basketball season. The Sixers are back. And, of course, 97.3 ESPN has another season of Sixers basketball. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, man. Good talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Marc Jackson, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline.